positive for zoos should be banned?
Hello, my name is Brianna Schroeder, and I'm arguing the negative for should zoos be banned.
You ready to begin affirmative instruction?
Although zoos can be seen as a good way for people to learn about animals, the downsides outweigh the upsides. Animals have to endure stress and sadness in zoos that they wouldn't have to in the wild. One reason zoos are bad is because zoos mistreat their animals. In zoos, animals are subject to abuse and cruelty. According to petpedia.com, 75% of zoos in the World Association of Zoos and Aquariums, the WAZA, are plagued with animal abuse. The WAZA guidelines say that zoos can't condone animal cruelty, which includes things like displaying animals for entertainment, stunts, and tricks. However, over 1,200 zoos in 78 countries have violated these rules. Also, constantly being in contact with humans can increase animals' stress and pain. 43% of the WAZA zoos offer that people can pet zoo animals, one of the most common stressful activities animals have to endure. Animals in zoos have to cater to the interests of zoo visitors, doing stunts and tricks that cause stress and pain and deteriorate animals' happiness. Zoos are also bad because they deteriorate the animal's psychological and physical well-being. Certain elements of zoos can cause stress and mental issues in animals. According to animalsaustralia.org, animals with zoochosis, which is the term referring to psychological stress in zoo animals, display symptoms such as rocking, swaying, excessively pacing back and forth, circling, twisting of the neck, self-mutilation, excessive grooming, biting, vomiting, and coprophagia, which means eating excrement. Animals that are unhappy, stressed, and unable to express themselves naturally show these symptoms. And according to University Observer, about 80% of zoo animals have zoochosis. Loud noises, hectic environments, and proximity to people can deteriorate animals' health, causing signs of depression and psychological issues. These can negatively affect animals' lives. According to the Leviathan Project website and Animal Conservation Project, wild elephants can live well into the 50s, while captive elephants rarely make it into their 20s, and that 75% of captive primates die within the first 20 months, often due to depression and mental issues. Clearly, in zoos, animals' physical and psychological well-being are negatively affected. It's shown that even the lifespan of certain animals are reduced to poor mental conditions. Zoos can deteriorate animals' psychological health, leading them to have worse lives. And zoos actually don't protect endangered species. Most animals in zoos aren't in danger of going extinct. According to the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals website, most captive animals in zoos actually aren't in danger and aren't planned to be released into their natural habitats. A study from 2015 showed that unless animals are protected in the wild, then breeding animals in zoos won't protect endangered species. According to petpedia.com, only 18% of zoo animals are endangered, and that extremely threatened species aren't actually supposed to be bred in zoos. The falsehood that zoos protect endangered animals in captivity isn't actually true, and that the impact of zoos have on saving at-risk animals is little. So in conclusion, zoos should be banned because of the suffering that animals are subjected to. Animals are better off in the wild, surviving naturally like they are meant to. That is why zoos should be banned. Thank you.
Brianna, are you ready for cross-examination?
You mentioned zoochosis. How would that affect the animals' lives?
It would make them have worse lives. Like if their mental state is being deteriorated, then they're gonna feel more sad and more in pain and less more bored and less likely to enjoy their lives.
Are there studies that show those things?
Yeah.
Do you have an example of one?
So
Like that shows they're in pain.
yeah, zoochosis can cause stress and mental issues in animals, and it can display symptoms like rocking, swaying, excessive pacing, and
But you said it would cause them pain.
yeah.
Like physical pain or just mental pain?
Well, Well, both mental and physical pain.
Is there a way to keep zoos without having animals get zoochosis?
Yeah, by expanding animals' environments and forcing them to interact with people less. Like if you just set up like a big pen and people could watch the animals in like a bigger environment, and animals would probably be more happy.
So if we could have our government improve like zoo animals' lives in there, animals won't get zoochosis, so then we could still keep zoos.
Yes. One of the main issues is animals being stressed and in pain in zoos.
So if we could still keep zoos if we just improve their lives.
I believe so.
Okay, thank you.
Brianna, are you ready for negative construction?
Zoos shouldn't be banned. Zoos aren't just spaces for recreation, they're sanctuaries for hope, guardians for biodiversity, and engines of education and conservation. Picture this. Narwhals gliding gracefully through the Arctic waters. Now imagine a world where creatures cease to exist. Global warming is ruining narwhals' lives. According to scientific research done by animals.com, by the end of this century, narwhals will cease to exist in these waters. Zoos provide a lifeline, a controlled environment where endangered species can thrive, preventing their extinction. Banning zoos would not just close the gates, it might seal the fate of many species. Without zoos, the loss of critical breeding programs could push endangered species to the brink. Zoos are not just spectators, they're active participants in the fight against extinction. According to PBS, up to 30% of world's animals and plants will be on the path to extinction within 100 years if zoos are banned. Through their studies and breeding strategies, zoos ensure that species can thrive in captivity. Banning them would be like tearing the pages of the book of life, preventing our understanding and jeopardizing the survival of endangered species. Zoos actively engage in conservation products. They contribute not only to the preservation of species, but also to the protection of their habitats worldwide. If there was a world where these efforts cease to exist, the global efforts to address environmental challenges will diminish. Zoos aren't just about saving species, they're about educating and connecting people to the wonders of the natural world. Imagine a child who for the first time gazes into the eyes of majestic animals sanctioned in zoos. The average zoo ticket costs $8 to $12, while the average safari ticket is $90. Zoos provide an affordable and accessible means for the public to connect with wildlife. Banning them could deny countless individuals, especially those who cannot afford more expensive alternatives, the opportunity to experience and appreciate the animal kingdom. Zoos aren't just about the experience, saving species and educating the public. They're also job creators and tourism magnets. As of 2022, zoos and aquariums employ over 27,000 people in the United States alone. Banning zoos would lead to job losses and economic decline in communities that rely on the income generated by these institutions. In conclusion, the role of zoos extends far beyond the confines of their enclosures. They're beacons of hope, centers of education, and defenders of biodiversity. This is why we cannot ban zoos.
Kai, are you ready for cross-examination?
Yes. How do you propose animals will be better treated in captivity?
We could put more money into zoos because they earn a lot of money, which mostly they're using to fund for jobs and to add more enclosures. Instead of that, I propose that instead of adding more enclosures, we could expand current ones to make sure the animals don't get those mental health issues you mentioned.
So you said that animals going extinct is a huge problem that zoos try to fix. Then what's the point of animals being saved if all they can do is live in suffering in captivity?
They get to survive. Would you rather be held like captive, or would you and live, or you just die because people hunt you down?
Well, being in captivity is probably worse than like the species being reduced, right? Because living in captivity, the animals can still die.
Yes,
for the
but
stress?
zoos have programs that allow scientific research, so we could make sure future generations get to admire the creatures as we do now.
Do you believe that animals are treated well in zoos?
No, but that's why they need to be fixed. Banning zoos shouldn't be the solution to creating a better environment for animals. I propose that we should, again, as I said earlier in the cross-examination, that we should use more funds to make animals' lives better in captivity.
How are children supposed to learn about animals if all they see when they go to zoos is animals suffering?
It's not just animal suffering. On zoos, they don't just show animals in captivity, they have signs that explain what the animals are and more informational facts about them.
No further questions.
I believe zoos shouldn't be banned. The affirmative and I agree that we don't have to ban zoos. We just need to make them better for the animals. The concerns about animal welfare in zoos are indeed serious and warrant careful consideration. While instances of stress, mistreatment, and abuse in zoos are undeniable, it's essential to recognize that not all zoos engage in such practices. Implementing stringent regulations, regular inspections, and penalties for noncompliance can significantly reduce these occurrences. Zoos should prioritize the mental well-being of animals by providing the larger, more naturalistic enclosures and enrich activities to mitigate stress. Acknowledging the mistreatment exists in some zoos, it's imperative to address the issue through strict enforcement of animal welfare regulations. Banning zoos entirely may overlook the potential for positive change. Regulations prohibiting public contact with certain animals can be reinforced to ensure the safety and well-being of both animals and visitors. The high prevalence of zoochosis is concerning and underscores the urgent need for improvement in zoos' environment. We could make zoos have larger, more enriched enclosures, coupled with mental simulations to reduce the incidence of zoochosis. Zoos must invest in research and implement changes to enhance the psychological well-being of animals in captivity. While it's true that not all captive animals are endangered, zoos play a crucial role in breeding programs that can contribute to the conservation of endangered species. By focusing on strengthening conservation efforts within zoos and supporting initiatives that protect animals in the wild, we can enhance the impact on species preservation. In conclusion, while concerns about animal welfare in zoos are valid, I still stand that zoos should not be banned. Instead, we can make them better by expanding animal enclosures and making them better for the animals. Thank you.
I know my opponent has presented some good points on why zoos should not be banned. However, the stress and pain that causes animals to suffer is clearly unable to be fixed. Forcing animals to live in zoos is just like sending people to jail for no reason. But there's one difference. People are sent to jail because they've done something wrong. Animals are sent to zoos just so they can be observed and studied. Animals are supposed to live in their natural habitats in the wild, where they live happily and naturally. Forcing them to stay in zoos is detrimental to their well-being. Imagine being evicted from your house and being forced to live in a much smaller environment than what you're used to. You'd be more likely to get sad and upset, right? That's what animals have to experience. When you go to a zoo, you're seeing a facade, what seems to be a natural environment when animals in enclosures are actually suffering. Zoos need to be banned because the treatment of animals is completely unacceptable. Suffering animals in zoos have been long overlooked, and it's time we put a stop to their pain. Ban zoos to spare animals happiness and well-being. You and I both know that it's the right thing to do. Thank you.
Okay, can both the affirmative and negative please stand to